So, rant of the day. It is the morning after the Trump and Harris debate, and I found it extremely disheartening. And I hope that my kids never participate in a debate like that. It is embarrassing to see that that's where we're at in America, as that is considered a presidential debate here in the United States. I thought the Biden and Trump was pretty awful. This one was just as bad, except they didn't talk about their, golfing average. So that, I guess, was nice. But, if I want to watch reality television, I will watch reality television. I don't want to see that as part of a debate. And I was like, again, we spent a ton of time on abortion and this hot topic that divides us as a country. Neither one of them talked about any specific plans on what they're going to do to make this world, or our country better. And there's so many hot buttons they could have talked about regarding like our children and education and how are we going to improve that, because classrooms are nearly twice the size they were when I was a kid on one teacher. So how are you getting a quality education? Then you wonder why bullying is going up. How are we going to combat that? How are we going to get financial education into our schools to start educating us to be better with money instead of in debt? But then again, our government is not good at it because we own a huge deficit. What is it? 35, 36, I don't know, $37 trillion by next month. And then they're talking about giving us tax breaks and tax credits. The taxes we currently pay them does not cover their spending that they're doing. Our money, because the government, again, does not make their own money. They get money from us. We fund the government and their spending. So then they're going to give us tax breaks, which again, they don't collect enough from us in taxes to pay for whatever it is that they want to pay for and pay their salaries. So how are we ever going to get out of this deficit? Because the reality of it is when you live in debt, like most of us do with credit cards, how much are you paying on your interest? The government is paying interest too. So that's great. They want to give us tax breaks, but at some point they're going to tax us on it in some form or another. And a lot of times what people don't understand, and I still like, it's such a mind bender for the average person to understand, that's what inflation is. You hear people that are financially savvy, or you hear people reference the fact that inflation is like a silent tax. And I never understood that. But the government borrows money from other countries and big investors by selling bonds. So basically, they're saying, you know, I'm going to sell you, or I'm going to pay you interest if you loan me money. So the government takes money between our taxes and taking loans out that they have to pay interest on. So to give us tax breaks means they're probably going to take out more loans and they're going to pay more interest. And we all know, as the average person, is when you have interest payments, I mean, just me alone, I think I'm paying over $500, if not more, in interest payments every month that goes to absolutely nothing. And so they're going to give us tax breaks. Yay. Like, that's a band-aid that we're going to pay for later. Like, it's not healing the current issue. And I want to hear about the different things that they could do to improve, schooling. They can do to improve, how can we grow more healthy foods here in the United States? Less processing would be fantastic. We have the land, we have the farmers. I'm from California. I've seen the farmers phased out. I know what it's like to be a small business or trying to compete against these big corporations. It is structured against you. It's crazy. You can go and look at all these grants and all these funding programs, and a lot of them go back to these big corporations. You can apply all you want to as a small business. It is very challenging to get one unless you know somebody up top and you're part of the game. But again, nothing about taking care of our farmers, taking care of our schools, taking care of our current generation. Just more things that keep us divided and more mudslinging. And that's not like, I just like, my stomach got sick because I understand why like Republicans and Democrats are fighting and there's no middle ground. And I think that so many of us are in the middle ground. And I think that's why like I like listening to RFK, is because he doesn't get caught up. He gets people will say stuff about him, but he doesn't dish it back out. He sticks to what he believes he can do to help this country. And I think it's disheartening to know that there were 3 candidates running for office, and one of them has not gotten any airtime on the normal networks. And I watch the normal networks and they make it sound so great and so wonderful that Harris is. And but if you look offline and you do some research and stuff, I don't think that's the direction we need to go. We need something independent for the people. We don't need these two parties that keep getting us divided. And last night was a showcase of what we are in for if this is where we continue to stay as a people. And we continue to believe what social media wants us to believe about either candidate. I don't care. I think we need to think independently. We need to talk to one another. We need to have these debates. I mean, my goodness, like, does anybody else think it's weird that now these debates are happening and there's no people allowed? Like, they used to be in front of normal Americans. Americans used to be able to witness the debate in person. Now it's all online and censored. And again, that depends on how you believe. I believe it's censored because why would you not have average Americans in the stands? Like, why? That doesn't make any sense. And we're shutting off mics and it's all of this. And why are they not sticking to the topic I mean, they're asking, even the announcers are asking personal questions and personal opinions and like what they think and like, do you feel guilty? And I'm like, I don't give a damn. I want to know what we're going to do to start changing the direction of where we are going, because it is only getting worse here in the United States. And that's what I'm interested in. And the announcers, whatever the heck they're called, I don't really care. And our presidential candidates did not talk about any specific plans on what they're going to do to help America go in a different direction.